Hello friends, what makes a couple spiritual? Who are pyramid masters? So today we have very dynamic, energetic, newly beautiful married couple. I'm Kavita. I welcome you in a new episode of New Age Family. Welcome Nikhil and Vaishnavi.
Hi.
Namaste.
So Nikhil and Vaishnavi, my first question is, how did you meet?
Oh, it's just we got connected through. There is a unique program in PIMA. So first I want to say about PIMA. So PIMA is the youth wing in this PSSM, which has been initiated by Patriji long ago, but now it restarted with lot of new energy and very creatively. So, and that program called LKG. So that is Loka Kalyanam Group Meditation Program. So there I saw him. I saw the how he sees the world and how he connect with people, how he lives. So through that I got connected to him. That's how I met him. I used to take some yoga classes. He attended that one of my pranayama classes, but there I didn't connect much. But later on one day he joined this LKG meditation. So he was speaking. So when he is speaking, I just connected to his, there is lot of clarity when he is expressing his views. So that clarity of thought and that purity, so maybe I could say that I could see in his eyes. So that's the instant I got connected to him. I thought that there is something in this man. My first feeling is like there is an instinct that this is the man. This is something very weird to me. That doesn't happen every time, and I don't know why that happened, because I'm not ready to marry. I'm not even ready to get into any relationship, but suddenly my soul is saying that this is the man. So it's very weird, and I don't want it. It's very confusing, right? So my feeling is like, okay, let's know him. First, let me know him, why this is happening with me, why that intuition is coming. So that's my first thought, to know him.
Nikhil, how much do you love Vaishnavi?
This is actually this is a wrong question, I think, because it cannot be said in words, right? So that's what actual relationship, the quantity of love, if it is not measurable, then that is what makes us together forever. So that's what I have seen in her, and the unconditional love, and that is what made me to go, yeah, this is the right person, to decide that yes, with her I can go forward in my life, what all the dreams I have in my life. So if she is the person with me, I could do anything. So that confidence I got. So when I interacted with her, so it also happened unknowingly within me. So immediately I didn't get as fast as her, but I took some time for me. So as we continued our journey, our conversations, so later I got that clarity that yes, she is the one.
When did you guys start your meditation journey?
So actually I have been in this meditation from 12 years. So I came through one experience which my mother has gone through. She gone through some accident, and at that instant we just don't know what to do. So even doctors were saying that there is no hope. Like she couldn't walk. Her back was severely injured. So that's why she was entire family was in very low state that time. So at that moment we got to know about this meditation, and we approached a master. So he taught us how to do meditation, and he told that we can heal through meditation. And that was the point where we started our journey. And we actually came to this meditation to cure that particular situation, that ill health which my mother was having. So later in this journey we came to know that this is just a part. So there is long beyond which we need to know in this meditation and spirituality. It is just it's like just a small gift which nature is giving when we are in this path. But once after my mother got healed, so we started knowing more about this meditation, and approaching different masters and getting knowledge from them. So our journey started like that, and in this journey of 12 years we have met a lot of people, a lot of senior masters, and we are grateful for that, I should say, in this moment, for every masters. So each and every master that we met at that moment, that knowledge was actually needed at that moment. So it came to us through them. So at right moment, the right knowledge was given to us, so that we transformed our lives with that knowledge. So every moment in our life, we will be always thankful for all those people who have given that wonderful knowledge. So that's what our journey happened like that. And coming to her, she should say her experience.
Actually, I think I've chosen the meditation family. So by the time I was born, there is meditation in our family. So long back in 1997, 98 around, so my family met, they come across Patriji sir and they listened about, what he is sharing. In the initial days, it was very small, but he used to come to the Tadipatri many times. He used to interact with people, Patriji sir. So at that time, yes, my parents, my father and mother, they got connected. My grandfather got connected. So they were into this work completely. They used to spread meditation like anything in Tadipatri, around Anantapur, all these places. So that's how, but though I am in this meditation family, I was not into meditation more. So, but I am living in this world, where, every Sunday my parents go to, this Sajjana Sangatyam, they go to classes, many masters come to Tadipatri, sometimes they go to trekking, and even Pyramid Valley, many things I've been observing, I've been living in this world. But yes, it took me very, very long time, almost when I am 20 years. So when I was 20, at that time, I saw my dad. He came from SCTP. He attended in Quantum Life University. He attended Soul Coach Transformation Program. So once he did that Soul Coach Transformation Program, so I saw a lot of change in him. So that is the moment where I started doing meditation, because after seeing those changes, after seeing how meditation can bring a lot of change in our gunas, in our way of expressions, so everything, my dad became very expressive, very lovable, whatever he is seeing, he is very aware. So by seeing all those, I understood I should start doing it, I should transform into this.
So
then
what was your age that time?
20 years around, almost 4 years before. Yeah, but I'm fortunate enough, I've been brought up with all these values. I've been listening that I'm not this body, I am soul. All these lines are very familiar, but I'm not living that at that moment, but now I'm feeling it.
So after meditation, how did your life transform?
Mine is complete U-turn. So before that, it was only studies, and I don't know, there is no clarity what I want to do in my life. I don't know there is this world called life purpose, and I am here to do something. All those things I don't know. I just think maybe some other normal people, how they are living. So just I study and then I give exams. If there is something coming to me, interview, I will give. It's like that. There is no zeal in life. There is no excitement in life. But once this happened, I just fall in love with myself. This transformation. Actually, I guess I never felt that love earlier, the love of nature. So to be frank, when I went to SCTP, not even before SCTP, when I went to Quantum Life University, for the first time I saw nature in a different way. I start connected with nature, and there exactly the people, Acharyas of Quantum Life University, I understood the importance of unconditional love, so which can be given by nature. I usually thought that only this nature, air, we believe, right? See, air loves you and even a murderer in the same way. The water, it just treats both of you in the same way. So I thought, okay, nature can do that. But when I went there, I understood the acharyas there, they were very unconditional. They treat you in such a way that they make you understand you can be unconditional. So that is the time they touched something in me. How can I say? We all love animals, right? Pet animals. Why? We all love nature. Why? Because they don't judge us, but they still love us. So I experienced the same there. They know nothing about me. They don't care where I came from, what I am, nothing. I am there. I am in front of them and they are giving that unconditional love. So that is the moment it understood that I should give this. I can become this. I can become a medium. I can give this unconditional love. So when I understand that, everything changed. So first I started giving that unconditional love to myself. So whatever I am, I started loving myself. And on that day, that particular day, the smile started. It wasn't the same before. Coming with lot of love. Every time I smile, every time I see a person, I just connect to them. I don't want to know anything about them, but still I can love them. I understood that on that day. So that's a big transformation, and it's still continuing.
So actually, coming to me, once before coming into meditation, so as everyone knows, like when we speak about meditation or spirituality, how people will understand that is leaving the family and going far away from the family, wearing saffron cloths and completely dedicating to some kind of meditation. But that kind of idea I used to have, but when I started slowly going into this path, so I understood that it is not the thing which I had understanding before. So it is completely, we can live our life, we can enjoy everything what we are doing, but knowing our limits and knowing what we have to do and how we have to do. So that clarity I got it as I traveled in this spiritual journey. So in my complete journey, I came to know, as I said earlier, so each phase of my life, like once I met a master who explained about vegetarianism. So I am being lucky that I have born in a vegetarian family, but still some part of my habits were like I used to have had a habit of eating eggs. But later when I came to know this, this is a concept of karma, and when you take that from an animal, it is a life, and all these things when I came to know, some kind of realization happened from within me. So initially when that realization happened, a kind of compassion comes within you. So when that compassion comes from within you, then you will not consider that as a food. So that is, in that way, each and every stage of my life, each and every concept that I faced in my life, when I thought of it and when I put into practice, so it got a lot of change in my surroundings and in my relationships, or in my whatever it may be, even in our home, the 4 people that we are living, now 5. So actually my mother, father, and I have a brother, younger one. So we used to have a little differences in the family previously. So once we got into this meditation, when we know there is a lot beyond this physical things, so we are not giving importance to all those egos or misunderstandings or fears or ego clashes, whatever it may be. So we just came out of all these things. So only thing is we have decided before this life itself to make a family like this, and we all decided to come here to learn and spread knowledge and love. So that is what we strongly believe, and we understood that. So when we strongly believe that, we don't see all these ego clashes or silly things. We feel it as very silly things. Even though it comes, I don't say it is not there. Definitely it will come because we are in a society, we are facing a lot of people outside, and we have a lot of things, we have different beliefs. So when all these things come to into one family, there will be little clashes. But how long you are taking is what the point is. If some clashes, if there is some clashes, if you are carrying it for a long time, then you are not a yogi, or you are not a gnani, you are not a master. So when you are mastering yourself, you will understand that is a temporary thing, that is not a permanent thing. It comes out of your unknowingness. It's without knowledge. It is coming out of you. So when you observe that, when you try to change you with yourself with awareness, then you will understand that it's all very temporary things. So you will not carry for a long time. Usually we used to carry that. We used to have a habit of, like when some quarrel happens, we used to carry for days. And after this knowledge has come, we just do like this. Some quarrel happens, the next moment we just be like nothing happened. So that kind of understanding is developed. So because of this knowledge.
Yes, I totally agree. Everyone goes through such challenges. So, how to be more aware, how to be more thoughtful, and how one should cooperate with each other?
Yeah, so as I said, so whenever that quarrel happens, so we always focus on why it has like it has happened. That's it. We'll think from our side. So I am correct, he is wrong, or she is wrong. So I have said this point, she should have done like that, and she should have not done like that. So always we think from our side only. So in the same way, the opposite person will also think the same. So from his side he is correct, and from your side you are correct. But what at the end of the day, what you have to understand is, he has his own way of thinking and you have your own way of thinking. We should learn to respect both the things, and if there is something wrong in either of the people, we need to overcome that. We need to correct it. So some quarrels happen. So if I am wrong in something, even then if I quarrel with some other person, after the quarrel ends, we need to think of it. We need to self-analyze that, is there anything mistake from my side which has triggered this situation or quarrel. Yes, if it is there something, yes, we need to work on it. So that is what we need to think. So that point of questioning ourselves will come only when you are in practice of meditation. So when you are practicing meditation, what happens is your thoughts, it will come into a subtle moment that there is no any ups and downs. It will be in very still state, like a calm water. So there will not be any fluctuation. So when you keep practicing this meditation, your mind will generally, it will become like that. Even when you are not in meditation, when you are in dealing with the world, your mind will get practiced to it, and it will not immediately go to a high frequency or low frequency. You will not get depressed suddenly, or you will not get anger suddenly. So it will become a very general practice for you, so that if something wrong happens in your life, you will just stay for a calm for a second, and you will think, what is wrong. So that gap you need to practice it. So when you will practice it is with the practice of meditation, and when you know this some spiritual knowledge, so that will add up more to this practice. So you will question yourself, yeah, something is wrong, yeah, it is something wrong in me, yeah, I can correct it. If something wrong from their side, we can after that quarrel also we can say sorry for them. Generally what we feel is, we don't feel to say sorry, because we have a lot of ego will be there, or why I should say sorry, I am elder to him, I am superior to him. So when all these egos, positions, some kind of relations, all those things in this mind will be there. So if you drop all those things, then you will be the purest person, and from there your development starts. When all those things are there in your character, then it is like a block, it will not allow you to grow. So I heard a very wonderful quotation from a Buddha somewhere. So someone will come and ask Buddha, right, what you are doing just meditation, what you have gained in this, you are begging and roaming on the streets, what you have gained. He said, I didn't gain anything, rather I have lost many things. I have lost anger, I have lost ego, I have lost depressions, I have lost all the negative things, desires. So all these things, which is not making you to grow in your life, and it is not making you to allow to continue a very good relationship with your surrounding people. All those things are blocks. So when you observe that there is something blocked, when you remove that ego, you can happily go and say sorry. So when you go and say sorry, what you are giving there, you are giving a sorry to him. So you are giving a what we call it as kshama. I don't know what we call it in English. So forgiving, yes, yeah. When you are giving forgiving, so whatever you give, that you will get back. That is a law of nature. So when you are giving forgive, slowly some point of time, that person also will have a kind of realization that, okay, he has forgiven. So why should I still maintain? Why should I still carry this kind of emotion?
Forgiveness is not that we are giving to someone, but we are forgiving
for ourselves. Yeah, ourselves. Free ourselves. So why should we carry that negative emotion within us? So if you forgive, it will let it go. So that kind of thing when happens, you will know how to maintain relationship very beautifully. So that is what the main thing I learned in meditation after coming into meditation. Before coming into meditation, I was like a very silent and calm person. Like I used to do my work. I am not that kind of interactive person. So even though if I want to interact with some people, I just go and point to point I used to contact with them and I used to come. I am not that kind of outgoing person. So once after coming to this meditation, when I started growing, so I used to observe in myself, so how wonderfully I could connect with people. So when I connect with people used to feel very happy to communicate with me. And at one point of time, it used to be very encouraging to me also. If someone is feeling some sorrow in their life, they used to come and share with me, not others. So it used to be like, this is what we learned. So this is what we need to spread. So that moment, those kind of moments, it'll create some kind of confidence that this is what we need to do. So that is what we need to spread. This kind of positivity, when we spread to people, their lives will be very happy. That is what our purpose is. And we both always think that this is what we need to spread. It's not big things like money or something. Very happily we can spread is love and truth, knowledge, and whatever we learned here in this society. In this moment, I have to thank our Guruji, Dr. Brahmarshi Patriji, for giving such a wonderful wisdom to all. And I couldn't imagine if he would have not been there, what would have been many lives. I cannot even imagine. Sometimes I think of this thing and I feel very happy. Such a evolved soul he is. With him, because of him, entire world now it is transforming. Now everyone, like we have developed Paima. So every youth today, they are knowing many wonderful things and they are spreading in their own way. They are doing service in their very wonderful way. So this is going very fast, because when it is coming into the hands of youth, it will go very fastly and very energetically. So at the same time, if it is in the hands of youth, this kind of knowledge, the next generation, complete generation, will have a very wonderful shift. So if you see the entire society now, whatever the wrong things are happening, it is only because of not knowing the righteous knowledge in their childhood. So if they would have been brought up in a very wonderful environment, or very compassionate environment, very knowledgeable environment, they would have not grown into that kind of person. So if you see all the root cause for every problem is like not giving righteous knowledge at the
Right time.
parenting moment, or it is not about parenting also, it is not nurturing at the right moment. So if that would have been given, so it would have been grown with a wonderful, they would have been grown like a wonderful tree giving wonderful fruits. So that's what I personally believe, and my personal project is that. So I have to spread this knowledge to school. I have to create some kind of curriculum in a school where this spiritual knowledge should be the main priority. And I just wanted to give a start. So our project is that personal thing. So it's not like going to a school and teaching. People are doing that very wonderfully, but what I personally feel is, if we go and just say once and come out, it will not be a continuity process. We are just giving an information, but what I personally feel is, if you take it in a curriculum completely, and when you daily teach that till they grow up, it would be a wonderful thing.
Yeah, starting something is really easy. Like I can start dance, I can start exercise, but to be consistent is really not that easy. And you guys are really marvelous. You are doing really a great job in that. So is that your purpose of life too?
So as when you have asked earlier, right? So how we got connected. So I said that I started speaking to him. I started knowing him. So then when I started speaking to him, at that time there is an interview came from him, and I just listened about this. So then I understood God. It is almost similar to me, because I always love to interact with people, and especially with kids, because they are everything. When you can give right knowledge to them at that age, so they will blossom into a wonderful tree, as he said, and they can give very, very beautiful fruits, so that the world can change. So when I heard about this, I thought that yes, I can be part of this. I can be part of this journey because we are into this. I interact with many people every day. I understand how to connect with people. And when I think about this, I think yes, maybe this is the purpose of life, because I can't say that my purpose is this. it changes usually. Mine is like, see, when the beginning of meditation, when I come, yes, yoga is something that triggered me. So I went into yoga, like I practiced yoga like anything. I become a certified yoga trainer. But then I understood it's not about asanas. That yoga made me understand that you have to, it made me understood more about myself, what I need. So that process of learning I enjoyed, and I understood I want to be a learner for entire life. So I don't know how many are there in my bucket list. So it's a kind of thing. There are many things, but most especially like to be precisely what I want is I would love to be part of this wonderful project. So where I can work along with him and put into this reality. We want to bring it to reality because that's how everything changes. So I don't know whether we start it or if someone start and we become part of that beautiful journey. So I don't know. I just leave it to nature. Leave to nature. It will. We just become tools to that.
Yeah, coming to this, adding to this point, I want to say, as she said, so we need not start everything. So when nature is already giving to you from other sources, we could also put our hands and add our effort to that. So in that way, not only this project, I have an interest of making short films also. So I am interested in this kind of filmmaking or direction or something. Why? Because if you want to say something very important to the people, if you want to make some concept to reach more to the people, media is a very wonderful platform. So I was thinking like I have an interest of making short films or acting. So why can't we take this kind of concepts to reach to the people? So I have this kind of interest also. So in this way, what I said, it is one of the interests or purpose for me to take this knowledge to the people or the students. So I don't stick like my ultimate goal is this has to be reached to the younger generations so that they should know this knowledge in any ways possible. It may be the schools, or it may be the films that I am going to take, or it may be any ways through yoga. We are also planning to teach yoga to the students and also spread this knowledge through that. So yoga, what people generally think about is only asanas. So what we are going to take classes is about yoga is not just physical asanas. It is beyond something. So it's beyond this physical things. So that knowledge we want to give it to the people. It may be the students or elders, whatever. So different ways. So she has a way of teaching through yoga, and I have a way of teaching through some other knowledge, some kind of concepts. Or I have another way of taking it through short films, or other way of taking it through creating kind of schooling environment and teaching as a curriculum. So we have multiple ideas in our minds. So we are working out how to make, but we are not anything. We are not planning, sitting and planning anything. Just we are making ourselves ready for everything, so that when the situation comes, we will just take it whatever comes first, and we will just go out.
Yeah, we are just becoming tools to this.
Yes, that's what we are preparing ourselves for anything. So we are observing the result of it also. We are meeting a lot of like-minded people who are near to our ideas. So
In this practices, how many people are connected with you?
connected in this, I have a lot of people. If you, for example, if you say in Paima also, so there are a lot of people who are with the similar ideas, with the similar interests. And even recently, yesterday, I have met a person. So he is also having the same kind of teaching this to students, and so I have been meeting a lot of people with the similar ideas.
Vasant Garu.
Yeah, we have one more friend called Vasant Karthik. So he is completely a nature warrior. So he just roam around places. He'll do a 4K run, and a lot of awareness creating programs he used to create. So through Hyderabad Kites. So in this context, I used to say about I have to talk about him. So he is the greatest inspiration for both of us. So he always inspires us. So he just gave his life for completely teaching people through his activities. So like-minded people like him. So there are a lot of people who I have been meeting. So that's what with all of these people we wanted to create what we wanted to.